Lillian recalled that the opening scene of the opera Eugene Onegin shows a Russian summer palace that looks exactly as this one must have looked in its heyday. Square Skernowitz, not far from Warsaw, the town from which my parents came. The inevitable horses, buggy, the townspeople staring at us. And now we see my father's two older brothers. A cousin in a beret stands to the right. And then a girl, a cousin. My two uncles walking forward with the wife of one between them were at least 20 years older than my father. He was a change-of-life baby, as his mother told him, an unexpected gift from God in her middle years. My father was a socialist and eager to come to the New World. Indeed, he and my mother, he 20, she 17, embarked for America immediately after their marriage in 1906. Walking toward us, the younger of the two brothers, then two old ladies, friends of my great-grandmother, long before the turn of the century. These were pictures from my great-grandmother, still alive at this time, to see. And this is a path my father used to walk. The creek where he used to play. And then other relatives, cousins of mine, great cousins of mine, coming forward to be seen. Our camera shows one of the great enclosed residential squares where the Jews lived in 5-story apartment houses, standing side by side behind enormous, foot-thick wooden walls 15 feet high. You entered the square through a pair of huge wooden doors 12 feet high cut in the walls. These doors were swung shut and iron bars slipped into slots on the inside. Behind this protection, the Jews lived. Then Nalewki Street, the principal street of Jewish Warsaw, of the ghetto, teeming with activity, looking almost like a replica of New York's Lower East Side with its push carts, its vendors selling everything from a few carrots clutched in their hands to flaming coals containing an iron bucket. You brought a pail and bought 3 or 4 coals and hastily took them, still glowing, to your apartment. If the hovels we saw could be called apartments, to start a fire or warm the room or two in which you lived. The street unfolds before us. People, pushcart wagons. As you will see, Jews in modern clothes and those in kaftans and curls, and so many beggars. One we will never forget. She was an old blind woman in rags and black skirts reaching almost to the sidewalk, holding out a battered tin cup in one hand and imploring passerbys with her right hand, and repeating steadily in Yiddish in a low, hoarse, broken voice verses of a song of curses and imprecations against the enemies of the Jews, ending each stanza with the same refrain, and Hitler in the middle. There were several copper groschen in her cup. I dropped in a U.S. quarter. She heard the sound, and instantly her right hand plucked out the coin, felt it, sized it up, and with a movement so swift as being almost invisible, thrust the coin in some hidden pocket in her clothes, and in a flash her hand was in view again, reaching out, begging. Not once did she stop the low, fierce, bitter recitation, consigning the enemies of the Jews to eternal fire, ending always, and Hitler in the middle. You see the cobblestone streets of Warsaw, the trolley cars, the brisk walking of people, some dressed in European clothes, some in shirt sleeves, all staring at us. It's to avoid lice. The shops, like shops in a bazaar, with two doors on either side of the entrance. One closed the doors and the shop was shut to the public. Here are tailor shops and china shops and clothes shops and shoe shops. We have of our memories of Warsaw and of Poland, and the last pictures of the ghetto where the Jews fought their final hopeless battle against the Nazis in the bunkers in the Lefty Street. Only to be destroyed, men, women, and children, by flamethrowers and machine guns.